So Codex just got a massive update, and honestly, I think most people are still thinking about it way too narrowly. What they're really doing is turning Codex into something much broader, more like an AI workspace for building things. Okay, so this is the OpenAI post, and this is the key line. They say Codex can now operate your computer alongside you, work with more of the tools and apps you want to use every day, generate images, remember your preferences, learn from previous actions, and take on ongoing and repeatable work. That's a huge shift. Because now the product is clearly not being framed as just to write some code. It's being framed as help me across the full workflow of building. Okay, the first big one is computer use. With background computer use, Codex can now use all of the apps on your computer by seeing, clicking, and typing with its own cursor. OpenAI says multiple agents can even work on your Mac in parallel. So the use case here is not just generating code, but actually helping test apps or work inside software that doesn't even expose an API. Let's have a quick look at the video OpenAI has posted here. So I think from this video, you can see they're trying to use Xcode and trying to, run an app in Xcode and then have the computer play the game with you. And you see the cursor there, right? And I've tried it before I shot this video, and you can literally see the cursor moving on your screen. And it's very, very pretty as well. So I'll show you that later. But you can see that it's calling different tools. It's looking at your screen. It's actually clicking. So you don't really need an API anymore. Okay, on to the next one. So this update is pretty neat. This lets you open pages and comment directly on them, which is really useful for front-end work because now you can point to what looks wrong instead of describing it vaguely in text. Let's just have a quick look at the video they posted. So now if you try to click on a link, something that's running locally on your system, it's going to open up the browser on the right hand side. And okay, there's a commenting mode on the top right, fine. And then it seems like when you hover your cursor over the page, it kind of highlights the page just like Chrome does when you inspect a web page. I think that's what it is. And then I think you can simply add a comment to an element. It's going to get attached to your text box, and then you can send it and you can just say implement this. Okay, the next one. And this is something that I was waiting for a long time, and I'm surprised OpenAI took this long. So you can now simply create images in code. It was missing for a long time, and if you had to do it today, you had to put in an API key and then create a skill around it, and then it used to use your API and skill to generate images. But now I think it will generate images based on your OpenAI subscription, which is much more convenient. And of course, it's included in your subscription, so you don't need to pay anything extra for that. Okay, let's have a look at it. Okay, so it's trying to generate an image. So this is really cool because now you can generate images inside Codex. Let's say if you're working on a web page, if you're working on some sort of UI UX project, you can have Codex generate images right in the UI and then ask it to, let's say you're creating a website for e-commerce and you want to generate different iterations of a product. Now you can do it in one prompt and it's gonna put everything for you very cleanly. Okay, going through the rest of the release, they've added more than 90 additional plugins. A lot of plugins which were not there before, which are quite popular, like Remotion, are now added in Codex, so you can use it natively. And you can see there are a lot of other plugins now which can really help your development cycle. So moving to the next update, and this is a pretty big one. We have expanded automation, allowed reusing existing conversation threads, preserving context previously built. Codex can now schedule future work for itself and wake up automatically to continue on a long-term task, potentially across days or weeks. So an update like this is pretty huge because now people can just give Codex some guidance and it can just work autonomously. It can wake itself up and then it can execute tasks. I think which is pretty big and very convenient. And the last thing in the update is that they're also previewing memory. Codex can now remember useful context like your preferences, corrections, and information it took time to gather. That means the goal is clearly not just answer the prompt. The goal is more like become a better ongoing collaborator over time. So what does all of this actually mean? To me, this is OpenAI trying to move Codex from an AI coding assistant to an AI production environment. Code is still central, obviously, but now it also wants to handle visual assets, app interactions, browser-based iterations, review workflows, memory, and recurring tasks. That's a big list. And if you ask me, Codex will destroy Claude Code in the coming few months because now Codex can control your screen just like Claude Cowork does. And I tested it and I can tell you it did a much better job than Claude Cowork. So now the real question is, does this actually feel useful or is it just a long feature? Let's test it. So the first thing we're going to test is the in-app browser and the commenting mode. Let's go to Codex. You can see that I've used a prompt and I've asked Codex to create a landing page. Now what we'll do is we will use this as a base. We're going to test the in-app browsing and the commenting mode. A quick FYI, in order to use the commenting mode or the in-app browser, you don't need to enable any settings in Codex. You can just directly start using it. You just have to update your Codex to the latest version. Now you can see that the landing page is already created. So in order to view it inside Codex, we can simply click on the HTML file. So I can click on that And there you go. You can see on top you have the browser and the summary. So if you go here, you can see the progress, artifacts, and the sources used to build all of this. If you go to browser, that's where you can see the web page that is created. There is an option to expand here as well on the top right. You can click on it and it is going to expand the entire web page inside the UI, and you can still prompt. Let's talk about the commenting mode. On the top right hand side, you will see this option. You will be able to select specific elements on the web page. So I can select this header, I can select this widget sort of a thing. Like I mentioned before, this is similar to inspecting a web page on any browser. And if you take your cursor over different elements, it highlights it. Let's do one thing. We're gonna pick two things on this page that we'd like to change, and then we'll ask Codex to implement the changes. The first thing I'm gonna do is, I don't like this font. So I'll say this is, oh, I don't want to shout. This is too bold. Make it a bit simple, smaller size. Okay, let's add this comment. The next thing I'm going to do is, I don't like the green color. Let's say I want to change this to yellow. Great, let's add that as well. Let's see if there's anything else we'd like to change. Let's do this. Add a gradient. Okay, let's add that. And I think we're done. So we've added 3 comments and you can see the 3 comments attached to my chat. So now basically I can just say implement. So let's do that. Okay, done. Let's quickly go through what Codex is saying. The hero headline is now simpler, smaller. Okay, great. Then the progress ring is now yellow instead of green. CTA card now has a 2-color creating background. Let's click on the refresh page. This is pretty good. So it did fix the header, the green color. Let's scroll down. Let's look at, oh, very nice. Now we are going to test the image functionality inside Codex. So ideally, you should be able to ask Codex to create an image and then let's say add it to a web page, because that's what you will most likely use it for. So I'm going to try the same thing for this landing page that I created. So let's go back to Codex and let's type in a prompt. Let's say create a header image on my website, add it in the header, span it across the page. The image model that Codex is using in this video is ChatGPT Image 2.0. I am also working on a different video where I'm comparing ChatGPT 2.0 image model with Nano Banana Pro. Alright, going back to Codex, you can see it has created an image. Let's wait for it to finish. Ideally, it should be able to add it on the web page. Alright, it just completed. Let's look at the result. So this is pretty amazing. So not only it added an image, it also added a gradient blur, and it looks very nice and very seamless on the web page. Okay, time for the last test in this video. We are going to use computer use and ask it to navigate on this landing page that we have created. Okay, so I've added a new thread. I'm gonna put in the prompt. You can even do this, remove this, and we can just do a reference. And I've put in the destination of the index file, and I've also asked it to use the existing Chrome session only. Okay, so I've divided my screen in 2 parts. Let's put in the prompt and see the action. So ideally, a cursor should pop up magically from somewhere here and start navigating on this page that we have created. So you can see it is looking at Chrome and it just took a screenshot like that. And the cursor should come up any moment now. It has started scrolling. There you go. There's the cursor. I also like the animations that OpenAI has put in the cursor. So once again, it's looking at Chrome. You can even click on the actions that it's taking and you can see what exactly it's trying to do. Okay, so the cursor is again moving. Now it's here. I think I'll also try to test this. Alright, so you get the idea about these new features. That's it for this video. If you like the content, please do like and subscribe to my channel. It'll help me a lot, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.